Okay, so what are you looking at right now? You are looking at donut graphs, believe it or not. This is the major reason why we have the donut graph tool. We saw in that last video a pretty, basic looking graph, almost looking like a pie chart in a way. But the big thing behind the donut is to be able to do this kind of stuff. Now, when you first look at it, what the heck are we looking at here? Okay. Well, let me show you with this first graph here what we have. In our data that we have here, and you're going to have to, if you're going to be doing anything like this, you're going to have your data laid out like this. Okay, and I'll explain this a little bit later on. But the point of the matter is that we have our four different territories here: the Americas, Euro, Asia, and Africa. All right, and that's what you see here. All right, these slices, the percentages, the size of them is coming from this area right here. This is determined by adding up all of the percentages for the Americas. So from Canada through Mexico, we have these percentages here, right? Now, here's how it all kind of works. It's one thing to sit down, you lay this out, you put in the actual values that we have for each of the countries. That's what this is. So this is just numbers that you'd put in yourself. All right. These percentages that you see here are determining what percentage each of these numbers is. All right. To all of the numbers. In other words, 400,000 for Canada is in essence about 5% of the total of all these numbers. So we use this calculation here to make that happen, and then we just go ahead and copy that down. So that part is there. This spot here, so those percentages are going to be used to create what you see on the outer rim here. Okay? Now, on the inner rim are the four territories. That's what we have up here for the America through Africa. These are gotten by just taking and adding up, for the Americas, adding up those numbers, adding up these percentage numbers, these percentage numbers, these percentage numbers for each one of these. So the calculation is, all it's doing is just adding up those percentages, and then to give them like a whole number look here, we just multiply that all by 100. So think about this. This entire graph, it's actually a donut within a donut. Okay, so this is the first donut, and this is the donut within it. To get this, all we have to do is come up with, first of all, our labels, second of all, our numbers, do the percentage calculation here, and then take each of those sets of numbers, add them together in each of these, and multiply it by 100. That's it. That's all you have to do. I'll explain the rest of it on the next one here, but I'm just going to talk about this one for now, and we'll do this one, and then we'll do the next one. All right. So what do you think? That's pretty straightforward. All right. But I'm going to tell you, this is a feat. This is something that most likely nobody in your office, nobody in your company has even attempted to do. But what a cool looking graph nonetheless, because what you're looking at here overall is that Africa is 24.5% of all of our sales. Africa, this piece right here, is perfectly fit with these four countries within Africa. Unbelievable, all right? Asia, 31.2% of our sales, and here are the four countries there. Same thing for Europe, same thing for the Americas. Unbelievable, all right? But I just like the fact of how it perfectly fits, and it does that because of how we've got this laid out and how we've got it calculated, all right? So now we're going to go and create this one, all right? So I'm going to go back to sheet 2 here, back to our original data here. So what we'll do now, first of all, is we're going to select from here all the way down to Rwanda. All right. Hold down the control key. And then we're going to take these numbers here. But not only those numbers along with the label here, but we're going to also do the blank ones, all right? So you have to do that. And then the third selection, this is all, hold down the control key. The third selection will be this one here. And there we go. All right? I let go of my control key. There. So that's what we're going to select in order to create this. All right? So this part here, okay, is what's giving us this. And then this part here is what's giving us the outer rim. All right? Okay, so we're going to go back into Insert. We're going to go to our graphs, our pie area, graph area, and we're going to go with the infamous donut. So we click on the donut. There it goes. And right off the bat, I don't need the legend. Go there, turn off the legend. I'm out of there. Second thing, I'm not going to need a title. So I'm going to take that off as well. All right. I am going to need my data labels. And what I'll do initially here is I'm going to bring in, I'll go and hit my little arrow here, go to my more options. I'm going to go ahead with my percentage. So I'm going to take off the value. I'm going to go with the percentage. And then I'm also going to go with the category, right? Now that did it for the one, for like the inner ring there. I'm going to click on one of the labels on the outer ring there. And again, take off the value, go with the percentage and the category name. And there we go. All right, now, next thing. I need to close the hole a little bit. The hole's a little too big here, right? So I'm going to point to one of the pieces here, double click it, and take my hole here and bring it way down. Oh, too much there. Nope, a little bit more. Okay, there we go. I'm also going to go ahead and double click here, go to my size, and bring this up. I'm also going to pull this up as far as it goes here. So I'll bring it up like that, get some size, and change. I can make it even with the width as well. It really doesn't matter. You can do whatever you want to do. Whatever you have to do to make it look the way you like it, that's all that counts. All right? And then we can go and click on to maybe the labels here. Go to our home, bold, and we will make this black. There we go there. We'll click on to the inner, make that black as well. I think also a little bit bigger. Go to these here, make that a little bit bigger. There we go. We're getting there, looking good. All right. But I don't know, it might be the geek in me, but I just think it's so cool how it's able to get this area to perfectly fit this area here. I mean, that just blows me away. But what a descriptive graph, though, really, because we're seeing two different kinds of information. Number one, we're seeing what each of the territories contributed to our sales, and then within each of those territories, how those contributed to the whole, right? So Nigeria, for instance, is 7% of all of our sales. All right. Mexico is 5%. China is 8%. Japan 7%. So what a cool thing. Now, what I'm also going to do is I'm going to double click the background here. Go to my fill as usual. I'm going to tell it no fill and no line, right? And there we go. It's looking pretty good. I can also kind of push this up a little bit. What's going to happen though is going to be made smaller. So I'm going to just double click it, go back to my size here, just go back like that, and I guess go back to what I had. Can't really do much more than that. I mean, I can make this a lot bigger, but you know, I want to kind of keep it on, you know, on the area there. So when I go to later on print this, it's all on one page and a good size and everything. All right, very good. Now, what I'll also do then is I'll click onto one of the outer slices. I'll go to Format. I'll go to my Shape Effects, and I can go with maybe one of the presets and maybe do this one here, and that kind of gives me the kind of the raised tile look almost. I click on this one here, go back into my Format, go to my Effects. Now I can try maybe going with the soft edges on this one, and maybe go with this one here, or this one here. Maybe I'll try this and see what happens. I'll click that, click away. I don't know. Doesn't really match very well. I think we need to kind of keep it with the tile look there. But then again, you might be sitting there saying, "Hey, that looks good to me." But I'm gonna go back to the other and give it the so we'll tell it on the soft edge. We don't want any soft edge, but we do want the preset number 4 here, which gives us that tile look. All right. The other thing we can do while we're on the inside here, get back there, on the inside here, is I can go to the shape outline, make the outline a little bit thicker, and maybe make that color of it white. All right. Click away from it. You see a little bit in there. Part of the problem is that we're using that other look, and that tile type of look is kind of messing that up a little bit. So we're probably not going to be able to do much with that. Now we can take that. I can move it around here, maybe get a little bit closer there, and that'll be my my first one. All right, now let's look at the second one that we had. All right, so I'm going to go back to that graph. That's going to be this one here. Now, for this one, you can see the center here are the 4 territories, but they're all even. They're all at 25% here, right? And that's what this is, okay? So that's the part that we didn't use for this one, but we're going to use it for this one now. By having that in there, and then also having the percentages in there, all right? You see the 25 and all that. What we're going to be able to do is show that for Africa, okay, for instance, we have these 3 or these 4 countries here, right? And I don't have them labeled with the country, but I'm figuring that people can see Rwanda there and follow it down to there, Mali here, follow it down to there. So we have these 4 different percentages, and those percentages added together are 100%. So it's showing that in Africa, the Congo accounts for 26%, Nigeria accounts for 27%, Mali 23%, and Rwanda 23% as well. They're rounded off, but that's what those are, okay? And that's great. Then on the outside here, those percentages now are just like we have over here, the percentages to the entire, 4 territories basically. So the only difference between the 2 graphs is that we have this inner donut, all right? We have a donut, we basically have a donut within a donut within a donut of a donut. And, but the main thing is to show the percentage that each of the countries within the territory contributes to that territory, right? Because you add up, these numbers would be 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, okay? So, okay, let's try this, huh? All right, so we'll go back to our original data here. What we'll do is we'll start here, and we'll drag all the way down there. So we definitely need those. Control key, we need this. So what do we need that for? That's going to be that inner part, the 25% for all four of them, right? Okay, so we've got that. All right, so we're also going to select this. So I got the control key for that. We need this one here. And we need this one here. So the only thing we haven't selected out of our data for either one of these are the sales, because that has already been figured in with these percentages, see? So we don't have to refer to those. So it's just those four pieces. We got four. In essence, we're going to have 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 donuts, right? Well, here's your 1 donut, 2 donut, 3 donut, 4 donut, and then the labels, right? All right, so now we'll go back into insert. We'll go back to our pie, go to our donut, go and hit our little plus here for the elements and get rid of the legend, and we'll get rid of the title. Don't need any of that. And we'll go to the data labels. We'll put those on. And then we'll go and, well, actually, I'll tell you what, we'll do this first. So we'll click away from that. So now we got that. Now I will point to one of the pieces in there, double click it. Now what I did there when I double clicked it, I got the label, not the piece. So I'm going to make this just a little bit bigger, so a little bit easier to get onto. And I'll try it again. I'll double click there. There we go. And that gives me this. And this is where I've got that donut hole size. I'm going to bring that down. There we go. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to have any hole. All right. Let me just show you here on the other one here. Say no hole. All right. So donut without a hole. All right. So we got that in place. Now I'm going to go ahead and bring this over a little bit. Pull this over. All right. Now I'll close that up. Now I don't need, I need to make this bigger. All right. So what I'm going to do, I just find this to be easier to do. I'm just going to double click the frame, go to my size here, and just increase this thing, see? And I'll bring it over here. So I want to kind of have it, oops, messed that up. I want to kind of have it match up, you know, with the other one, you know, have like a side-by-side almost here, right? All right, that. All right, bring it over a little bit there. All right, I think that's about it. Now, while I'm at it, I'll just go ahead and double-click the background there. Oop. Let me go to my bucket here. No fill, no line. All right, there we go. And now I think we've got that. That's good. All right, they look about right. Now, what I'll do here, I can just kind of go over it like this and say, yep, that's about the right size. All right. So we're good there. Now look at this. This is awesome. So we've got that layout. We've got the all even on the inside here, 25%. But now this is showing what percentage each of these countries are to that country, right? Or to that zone, that territory. So Africa, let's say, right? America over here, the same thing. All right. Now I'm going to go ahead and double click the label again, and I'm going to get rid of the value as usual. Oh, let me do that. Try this again here. All right. So I'm going to turn off the value, turn on the percentage, and also the category name, right? So I got that for that one. I'm going to go to this one here. I'm just going to click onto it, and that all of them become selected. I take off the value, put on the percentage and the category name. All right. And then I'll click on to the next one. Now in this one, we're just going to leave the percentage, all right, because there's not there's not going to be enough room really to have it in there. And we're going to know that like this one's Nigeria just because it all kind of lines up there. So just having the value, that's fine. And on the inside here, I don't need the 25%. I'd rather see the category name. So I'm going to take off the value and just put the category name in there, see? And now that will give me, in essence, what you saw here. There's that. There's the percentage. There's the label and the percentage, and then the label and the percentage as well. So very good. All right, so that looks good. I'll close that up. And then I can go back in here and doctor it up again with the font. So I'll click on to the outer rim there, the labels. Go back to home, make it bold, make it black, all right? Make it just maybe a little bit bigger. There we go. And I'll do the same thing on the inner one now. Click onto that, make it bold, make it a little bit bigger, and also make it black. Next one in here, same thing, make it bold. And then you can think about maybe saying, well, maybe instead of black, I'll try white. That might work. Sort of looks like it might, so we'll go with that. And on the inner circle here, again, we'll make that bold, and we'll make that black, all right? And there we go. And I look at that and I say, oh, that looks pretty good. I think, though, this probably should be black. So I'm just going to go back and click onto that, change it to black. There we go. And also make it just a little bit bigger. All right. I think we're good. And I can make this one bigger, too. There we go. Wow. Let's see about doing that that faded look for the look on these objects here. So on the outer slices here, we'll go to Format, we'll go to the Shape Effects, we'll go to the Soft Edges, and we'll go with this one here. See what happens with that. We'll do the same thing here. We'll click onto that, go to the Effects, Soft Edges, click onto there, go onto here. Oop, click right. You gotta make sure when you're doing this that you get the piece and not the label. All right. And on the shape effects there, we'll do the soft edges again, and then let's see what it looks like so far. That doesn't look too bad. Not too bad. We'll go to the last one here. Let's see how far we can go with this. There you go on that. Now I'm thinking, as I look at this, maybe I'll click on the outer edge and bring that size down, maybe a notch or two. And I'll bring this one down the same. Oh. There we go. These guys especially. It might get a little too small there. Okay, and then these guys as well. There we go. I think that'll do it. So we'll click away from there and take a look at what we have here. So there it is. I'll zoom out a little bit more so you can see it better. So there it is. I can take that, maybe move over a little bit, get a little more buddy-buddy there. And that's it. So you're looking at a very remarkable graphic here. This is something that if you try to do this by hand, you'd go crazy, especially. But again, look what we have here. We have the percentage of Africa being that much, and then the African countries. Same thing with the Americas and so forth. And on the inner one, like I'm each broken into quarters, and we can see how much percentage-wise the countries are contributing to the actual territory that they're in, right? All right, so hopefully this will be something that you can wow your associates with and whoever else. Maybe when you go to present this, you might even want to go ahead and hide this. Look at this. We'll select that, do a right click on it, hit hide. Oh, We can't do that. I just thought about that. We can't hide it because then it hides the data. Okay, well, anyway, looks good. Looks good. You could. I'll tell you the other thing too is you can actually, when you put this stuff together, you could actually copy these onto another sheet, you know, and have that. And I don't know if you remember this from the very beginning. If we just do like a right click on the graph, we can tell it we want to move the chart, right? And where do we want to move it? We're going to say move it to a new sheet, all right? Hit OK, and there we go. And there it is all by itself, all right? Then you go back to the other one that we have there. Go this one here. Do a right click on that one. Oop. And tell it that you want to go and put this. I didn't select it right there. You get right on the frame there, right click it, and then you can go here, move chart, right? And you can put this onto another new sheet. Hit OK on that. There it is. So there we go. So we got two sheets. Oh, we got a chart there. That's what it is. Okay. So there's chart 1. There's chart 2. All right. So there it is. So not bad stuff, you guys. So hopefully, again, like I said, you'll be able to use this for some of your stuff. You'll impress the heck out of people with it, I'm telling you. All right. Well, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Take care. Appreciate it.